Right?
Yeah.
The recording is on, so you guys are live.
Nice.
All right. Well, let's get started because I know the time is somewhat limited. So this is just for Scarlet Division. I think Clayton and Sam and maybe James are planning on doing one for the Violet Division. We shall see.
True.
But if not, congrats on being in the better division.
Yes, I agree.
There we go. That's actually true.
It's 1-0 versus Violet Division so far, I think. So
Yeah. Interconference is strong.
yes, exactly. All right. So there are only 9, and I think it was a pretty unanimous bottom pick from all of us. It was tough this week.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had Ian as by far the worst in our division. I thought everyone else was actually like pretty reasonable, and this was like almost embarrassing. It's just like not good. It was not good. There were like a few decisions that were made that like made no sense to me. I think there are some things that are good about the team. Like I like Sneasler a lot. It's like a really cool mod. I just wished he clicked close combat every time it came in because he had nothing to switch into a close combat. And then I also I like Golden Go, but it seems like he wasn't using it in the right way or optimal way. Like I thought he could have clicked Shadow Ball sometimes or make it rain other times when it made sense. And then there was like one move that like it really objectively threw me the wrong way was when he sent in Avalug on Belly Bolt and then Terra flying after he was in on Belly Bolt. It was just like it made no sense to me. It was like he doubled down on a stupid decision. Maybe he just wanted to click Terra and knew that something was going to die. But that's like the only possible explanation I had. But yeah, I'm excited to see some changes to the team and strategy coming up.
I don't think he I think there were some decisions in battle that he could have done better, but I just think he kind of lost on team preview with when Z had Poltergeist and he had none of Florges, Indeedee, or Sucker Punch on his Zork. If he did have it, he didn't click it. But like with Shell Smash Mons, and it's ironic that I'm saying this because I got destroyed by a Shell Smash Mon, which so I guess I know what I'm talking about in this. You have to bring a hard counter because even if they're like an 8-point Mon or whatever, if they get that Shell Smash up, they're very dangerous, which is something I will not forget for the rest of the season. Shout out fucking whatever that thing's name is.
Nah.
Yes.
Too powerful. Yeah, I think like if he had brought Indeedee so that he didn't just instantly lose if Poltergeist got a Shell Smash, then he could have clicked close combat with Sneasler. But the problem was if he clicked close combat with Sneasler, which he did game 2, he instantly lost to Poltergeist because it was banded. So yeah, I think it was just some oversight in the building. And honestly, like Z is one of the players that if you fuck up your build, he will torture you for an extended period of time with something that you just can't deal with, and it's horrible. So I do feel for you having to deal with that week 1 with a kind of iffy build, but yeah. Yeah. All right, jumping to number 8. We have the Moon by Mudkips.
I can go first. I thought this team's actually good. I like this team, and I thought you played well, Matt. I like some of the changes you made to get less dependent on sun or at least fire types, and I thought Vaporeon was a nice counter to a few things. And then Sandy Shocks also like steps up big and counters a lot of the water types. The only issue is that you can't really switch in Shocks, which was an issue that you saw where like your Toxapex kind of roasted your team and you couldn't send anything in on it because it could just click liquidation freely. But other than that, I thought your team was good and you played really well and almost won that second game.
Yep. I forgot to change your team preview here, so that's my bad. You do obviously have Sandy Shocks now. And I would say
Arcanine.
Yes, I believe so.
Okay.
I don't think you played well game one. I think you came back really well game two. Game one was rough, but game two, Grafii did better than I expected it to. And just in general, Sandy Shocks almost pulled it out for you. So I was I think there's potential. You just need to clean up game one so that you're not back up against the wall immediately.
Yeah. I think I actually would have put Mad 7 if I wasn't still salty that he stole Sandy Shocks from me and waiver claim of the week. But I actually like game one. I think he got really screwed with a pair on Torkoal where Dragonite was able to set up a free DD instead of getting yawned on, which I think basically lost him the game. But that's why Nuzzle is a fun move because para happens. But yeah, I think he really battled back game two. Like Toxapex just being able to eat a discharge for like 55 or 60%, just that thing's fucking bulky, man. It's tough. But yeah, all in all, I think you played well. I think week one's a step in the right direction. Game one didn't go great. I think game two was much improved. Post draft your team, I was not the biggest fan of, but I think the changes you've made thus far are really helping out, especially getting two of the photosynthesis mons in Sandy Shocks and Screamtail, I think will help with the Torkoal team.
Yeah.
To play around because Torkoal doesn't get momentum. So it's not like Rain where that's the only weather I know how to play around because I can put in Pelipper and click U-turn and then everything is fine. So I was actually pretty impressed how you were able to use your sun turns. So I think it's gonna be a learning curve. And
I do not look forward to playing your team because I have nothing to deal with sun. So it's gonna be a pain in the butt. I also really enjoyed that Charizard was able to click overheat once with solar power. That made me very happy and it killed something. Because I feel like solar power Charizard overheat in sun is an auto kill on anything. So I'm glad that we got that paid off.
I wanted him to switch in Toxapex just so I could see how much damage it would do.
I think it took which I'm assuming that was, I think it does like 70.
Jesus.
Like
Tuco.
And a stab discharge does 57.
Yeah, like
yeah.
It's actually ridiculous. But yeah. Okay. Number 7. The Latverian Luxray. First ever match. Still waiting for you to change the broom off of Terra Rock, which you said immediately after we played that you wanted to do. So don't hesitate there. Get that in soon. Because I agree. I don't think you really thought that one through when you were assigning it. But I don't know if it was just against my team, but Breloom is a fucking menace. That thing,
It was doing a ton of damage.
Yeah, game
was it banded?
Thought I was going to lose to, I think so. If I remember correctly, I thought I was just.
I think it was too. I watched. I don't think I watched your guys' match live, but I watched it before the power ranks, and I think like a bulldoze to your Terra Water Jagolgi did like 70 or something.
It did 92, but it was a crit.
Okay, so.
But either way.
Yeah, that's over half with a bulldoze.
Yeah. No, if I didn't Terra, it always killed. Like it's actually crazy. Terra Ground might be a better thing to be. Speaking of that.
Yeah. Terra Ground could definitely work.
Poison weakness, and that would have been very tough for me. I thought Sunny Day on Espeon was really cool. I think the big thing is you just need something to get rid of hazards. Because having it on Chi-Yu kind of saved my ass in the sun. Because then Ting-Lu was able to do Ting-Lu stuff.
Yeah, I guess also like obviously Ting-Lu against Chi-Yu is just one of its worst matchups. So I understand why you went with Sunny Day Espeon to just try to break through that thing if you could get it low enough. But I think Gallade became like a huge problem for your team. And if like Fido's going to come in any matchup, I feel like it's the Gallade one. Bert, I don't know if you had Poison Jab on it, but like Fido can definitely eat a hit and then Oko Gallade.
Does die to 2 Psycho Cuts.
Okay. But if you run a decent amount of speed, I know it's faster and it has high defense and stab play rough. Glade's not bulky physically, so I feel like it could definitely kill it pretty easily.
Yeah, no, it definitely could have come. It yeah. Yeah, I think there was a forgotten that Sacred Sword goes through Iron Defense boots on Garganackle.
Yeah,
So,
I think that he got lost in the shuffle game too, which is tough.
you
Because
know,
Sacred Sword's what, base 135 with sharpness and goes through stat changes.
yeah.
Fun
So
move. Fun move.
yeah, when Garganackle started clicking Iron Defense, I was like, this is fine. Like,
Yeah.
I guess I have to lose Rev of Room, but this is fine. But yeah,
That was
overall,
crazy to me that Garganackle won that one-on-one. I had no idea it was that tanky.
dude, when I clicked Shift Gear and that, I thought I was going to sweep with Rev of Room this game, and I clicked Shift Gear. I was like, okay, it's time, and that thing clicked Iron Defense, and I was like, fuck.
One thing I thought Braylon was nasty, and what I learned from this game in particular is that fighting types this season are going to be huge because Gallade went off and Braylon went off. And I'm looking at like half the rosters in our league, and every single team has a glaring fighting type weakness. So I think I'm going to pick up a fighting type at one point.
Everybody's used to grabbing a fairy for their fighting resist, and all of a sudden you have to grab a psychic or a poison because fairies don't exist, basically.
Yeah.
But I was impressed with first ever draft match. I was pretty impressed. So
yeah, I was impressed too, and I definitely put you above Gola because I was impressed by your play and unimpressed by Gola's play. So.
Very fair. Yeah.
Honestly, fair. I think Gola's history, I have to give him the benefit of a doubt here. But so speaking of Gola, it not really sent you down, plummeting down the ranks.
Yeah. No. Yeah. Game one, when it got the shell smash up, I'm like, okay, this is when he had the Lumberry, like I will wished him, and then he subbed afterwards. I'm like, okay, this is an issue. But then I was like, I'm calcing stuff. I'm like, okay, Noivern, like a crunch takes 70%. Slowbro crunch takes like 64 to 69 or something. And then Noivern got O code, and I was like freaking out in my mind. I'm like, does he have like an illegal move set on this thing? I was like panicking. I have like no idea what's going on. And I typed in the chat, I'm like, what is up with these? And I sacked like 4 Mons and just totally threw game one because I forgot that strong draw was a thing. Because just, dude, you got to prepare for even the 8-point Mons. Sometimes they can get you. And I didn't respect it as a Mon, and it came back to bite me. So I got absolutely destroyed that game one. Game two, I was able to battle back a little bit. I don't think I had the right team for Ben. Having like double specs on both my dragons, I was like, oh, he doesn't really have any resist. I can just keep dropping Dracos, but I was just way too on the defensive the entire time. So like I wasn't really able to show any of that off anyway. So yeah, I don't think I brought the right team, but yeah, I prepared way too much thinking he was going to bring Rain when like looking at my team, what the fuck does Rain do? Like, yeah, I don't know. Yeah.
You did that dry skin Toxicroak.
Yeah, no, toxic. Yeah, so I'm definitely going to make some changes to my team. My original waiver claim, I felt really good about, but then Mad snagged Sandy Shocks for me, so I'm going to have to rethink some things. But I think Krook and Toxicroak are definitely going to be the first two to go. Yeah. Having two physically offensive dark types doesn't really make a ton of sense.
Mm-hmm.
Goal, the Lumberry on the Dreadnought in game one reminded me of Lumberry D-Knight when we played.
Oh yeah,
it was like two seasons ago. Inner Focus Lumberry D-Knight versus Arcanine.
Yes.
Yeah. I like you changing up Toxicroak. I don't really like your team right now, so I think you do need to make some changes. But yeah.
I think Hisuian Gudra is going to be really good. I think it had a tough matchup, in at least like the moves you brought into, like you were saying. I think you prepped too much for Rain, which fair considering it's a Rain team. But yeah, I don't really have too much to add on that. So yeah, jumping to number 5, the Licky Licky. It was tough because I don't think there was any way for him to lose that matchup with what was brought. So it's really hard to rate this team, but
yeah,
it's very Z-esque. It is exactly a team that he would like to use. Belly Bolt, I can already tell, is going to be a pain in the ass every week. So
I think he's bulky as hell.
He's chonky.
Yeah, and Tadbulb, if he ever needs double. But
This this
go ahead.
this team I thought was one that had like a glaring fighting weakness, like insert Sneasler. I thought that could have done more work. But yeah, it's a low signal week, like Z was able to sweep with just like the click of one move. So as Z's gonna do Z things this season. He'll win some crazy games, he'll lose some others, but it'll always be interesting.
Yes.
Yeah, I honestly, from like the way he played, I think he probably would have been higher up on my list. I just, with it being week 1, I didn't want to read too much into the matchups and also wanted to look at the teams. And I'm more of a fan of the teams above him in the ranking than I am of his. I know that Umbreon is like technically a water type because it's Terra Water, but like, I just don't think he has enough type coverage on his team, really. I feel like there's a lot of overlap.
No, I think that's fair. It was hard to rate him this week because who knows? He could get double 6-0'd by James, or he could double 6-0 James. You never know. He's
Coin flip.
Guys. Yep. But
my man misses Snorlax.
Yeah, he has belly bold, but he
It
does.
would still be weak to fighting, but he still misses him. Also, Ferrothorn, he had Ferrothorn last season, and that was harder to deal with than Corviknight, I think.
Yeah, I'd agree.
Oh, I mean, that's a totally different matter, though. So
I don't get Grimmsnarl on this team. Everything else I kind of get, but like, what's Grimmsnarl doing?
I guess it's just his fairy type. I don't really know. Besides that, I mean, it sets up screens and parting shots out. Like, I'm not a fan of Grimmsnarl as a mon. I'm like not a huge like prankster support mon guy, but I know that's different people like to play different ways. And
I
just feel like screens make sense for like Poltergeist if it had like Terra Blast, but other than that, he doesn't really have. I don't know. I don't feel like he has a great sweeper.
Yeah. I wish he had like a Volcarona or something, a setup sweeper, atop of Grim, but yeah, it's not the case.
Trailblaze Tauros over here. but yeah, no, I do agree with that. I think Grimmsnarl is, if I could change one thing on this team, I think that is that, and get some like hazard control or something to go with it. But overall, not much to really complain about with the week 1 performance.
Watch out. Vehicle on shoulder ahead.
Watch out. Number 4, the East Aurora Aggron. This was against Mad.
yes,
I went back and forth between putting Kevin or Z in front, and basically I was just like, well, you guys both have Kevin in front, and I think it's pretty close, so I'll put Z in front. Was my logic there. But I think Toxapex looked really good, and I'm glad because I feel like that thing's been getting some unnecessary hate the past couple of seasons, and I think that mon is actually very good. So glad to see that. And then D-Knight did a D-Knight thing the first game.
Sure. It is easy to make Toxapex looks good against a Sun team. But I will maintain that I see value for it in my future.
Yeah.
Ben, I see you week 3, bulky waters against rain. Lol.
Kevin, I was gonna say, I think Terra Water Hatterene seems a little redundant. Maybe change that.
Sorry. I have my assistant here off screen. Write that down. Okay. Yep. Okay. Yeah, we're good.
Beat Terra Fire. Fire is good.
I'm excited to see the Quick Feet Jolteon come out to outspeed the Swift Swimmers too. Like,
yeah.
I guess,
to just like shout out my own team. This team it's slow as fuck. But I think it's like I am a subscriber of the bulky offense gospel. And this seems like an agreeable team to me for base decks plus Hisuimons. So I don't know. Yeah. We'll see how far it takes me before I figure out what needs to be done.
A pain in the ass, I will say.
Yeah,
dies in one hit. Everything lives one hit. except Typhoon, that thing dies.
Yeah, I think Kevin could have played a little better, but I really like his team. I was always a big Pex hater, and I think when you have the entire decks to work with, like we did in past seasons, it becomes a lot more beatable. But when the mon pool is limited, there's less things that get the coverage needed to beat it. So I think it's going to be really good this season. Just bulky mons with regenerator are always going to be good. But I think it's going to be better this season than in past ones. I love Hatterene. Like getting to use it one season has been great. I think King Gambit's underrated. That thing gets 2 great abilities, a lot of good moves. Dragonite, if its main role is to set up and sweep, I think it's in a good role. If you're trying to make it be more of a chameleon is where I think it struggles a little bit, which is kind of what I had it as in the season in the past. But if you want it to be a setup sweeper, it's going to do that well.
Yeah, Kevin, I think your team's nice, dude. It's I do not want to play it. I think you played a good game. I think you did your job. I think the way that people are going to beat you is they're going to have to come up with creative things. And I think it's going to be up to you to figure out how to kind of play for all of the contingencies that happen. So like, I know that I probably can't play like my normal strategy against you, which is just hyper offense sweep. That's like, I think that's going to be my strategy all season. So I'm going to have to think of something creative in order to beat you. And just keep that in the back of your mind when we play later this season.
Absolutely. That's playing Bert early this week because this man, I mean, we've had some good ass matches, man. We've cooked up some truly heinous shit for each other.
I've had more heart attacks against you than anybody else. Every match, it's like I'm like, okay, I think I've got this, and then some bullshit comes out.
Yeah.
What is this?
Yeah.
It was
The power trip Incineroar game was the most legendary set of all time.
Because I instantly killed something with last resort. I killed Pelipper, and I was like, nice, I won this game. And then I fucking lost. I was like, what the hell?
Yeah. Yes, I still have nightmares about that. Saslo. Yeah, I mean, that's the kind of thing. I mean, like this is a very strong division. Like, I mean, all of us here in this call we could all win the division, right? Like, if we're just caught on our good days, right? Like,
Yeah.
That's what makes it fun, right? So I'm definitely, it's good to get a creative team builder in early. The schedule is like super built for hype, which is like awesome. The cross divisional games and all that too.
I'm only bringing vanilla stuff against you now.
Just keep in mind that everything I say to anyone on this call, I'm going to factor into how my team build against them. So like when I say I'm gonna do crazy shit, it really means that you're gonna think I'm gonna do crazy shit, and I'm not gonna do it.
Absolutely.
What dimension chess are we at right now?
Exactly.
So I'm just planning in the double cross seeds just in front of our eyes. It's really just despicable.
Oh, absolutely. I know that from the start. Jump into number 3. We have Saslo himself. Who did you play? My brain is off.
So Saslo's only. I would have had Saslo. I would have had Saslo higher up, but he got such a cupcake game against that trash Violet division that like it really didn't matter.
This is the new
Yeah.
One of the 2 free wins of the season. Yep.
But no. So I think this team really do which is just absolutely stack hazards in the one biggest hazard stacking that there is, and then be hyper offense. I will say I like your team a little less now than I did when you had Salamence. I think that Toad's Cruel's kind of but I'd like to see how it used to be maybe that opinion of mine. I think Orthworm's really good. I'm pretty sure. Yeah, I mean, I'm playing you this week. That thing is a pain in the ass to prep for. Being a steel type that's immune to ground, like that thing's just, it's scary, man.
Just easy. But I thought Crocolore was very good, which isn't surprising. It's the one point Saslo Mons.
Yeah, he's the best I've ever seen at getting these valuable 1-pointers, man.
And I'm not a Orthworm believer, but maybe between you and James, maybe my mind will be changed this season. I don't think it's a bad mon, but I don't think it does what it needs to do as a steel type when it clicks shed tail is my big issue with it. But yeah, no, I mean, you played well, looked good. Crocolore was actually unkillable, which was funny. I
I
do.
wanted Crocolore. It was down to the last pick in the draft. I think we were picking 2-pointers. Sosolo picked Crocolore, and I was like, fuck. I think I have a message in there that was like, is Crocolore available? And they were like, no. I'm like, all right, just pick whatever 1 point.
What did Saslo actually draft when he meant Crocolore?
I said Croc or something like that. Yeah.
Oh yeah, because I had to ask. I was like, yo, that doesn't matter though. I knew what you were going for. Smart dude. But yeah, no, I mean, I honestly, dude, for this team for me it's really good. It has
Finishing up a call. I'll be out in like 5-10.
It has the front, talk spikes from Glamora and the whole like hazards thing. But for me, like this is the you fought my roommate Andrew this past weekend, and you're the Shed Tail Roaring Moon team. That alone is enough to just strike fear into anyone who is playing you. They have Shed Tail and Roaring Moon. Like you're gonna get owned by Scale Shot. Like if you don't properly prepare for this team, and that's basically what happened. Like in this.
I'm so
in
mad
this
that you
league,
got
you
the
like, you
fucking
turn
number one
around, so,
graphic
you know,
over me, dude.
Yeah.
So,
I like the team. Dude, this team is going to be hyper offense all year round. I literally have 2 suicide mons because I have Glamora who's in there just to suicide set wizards, and then I have Earthworm to come in and then suicide and give up a sub for something else, and then I'll try to sweep with one of Toxtricity, Volcarona, or Roaring Moon, and then see how far they go, and then I'll try to sweep with the next one, and then I'll try and sweep with the one after that, and then if none of them sweep, then I'll lose. But but that's okay.
and then you only have
try.
Palosan so that no one else has it, right? For Toxicroak or for Toxic.
2 people have Sandy Gas now. I picked up Sandy Gas just kind of. Felt like you used Earthworm too early though. I feel like Earthworm's better at the end, like when you actually want to sweep. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm still trying to figure it out. Yeah,
Learning this season, so many new mons.
yeah. I'm looking forward to Volcarona this season because I've been playing with it on ladder, and that thing is a fucking menace. Like half the games that I win just from a Volcarona sweep, not a Roaring Moon sweep, because I think people prepare for Roaring Moon but not Volcarona. And yeah, it's good.
Yeah, heavy duty boots have done so much for Volcarona. It was always good, but God, not being weak to rocks just sucks.
Yep, it's that present this gen.
Yeah.
Yep. All right. Jumping to number 2, the Puchiena. Ooh. I had you at 1 bin. I thought your win was the most impressive. I thought it was the coolest build, the most well executed. So no, I said I still don't like your team. I still don't like your team, but I gotta give credit where credit's due. You had a really cool build and it kicked ass. And I do love Iron Hands.
Yeah, I think that was the first game between me and Ben that hasn't been like an absolute heartbreaker game 3 loss for one of us on like a weird crit or something. He absolutely worked me game 1, and then I was just playing on my heels game 2. I couldn't pull it out. But yeah, no, and then Iron Hands, like those things are so good. Like obviously I lost to Dreadnought, but Iron Hands was so hard to prep for. And me having to bring Miss Magius made me easy to set up on for his Dreadnought because I just had nothing to switch into Iron Hands, like literally nothing.
Yeah. I like your team, and I think you had an awesome win. Like beating Gola at any point 2-0 is like noteworthy. That's awesome. I think Treads is low-key nice. That's why I want Treads from you. I think also gets Volt Switch, and I think it can play a lot of roles this season. I think it's going to be like 1 part like sweeper, 1 part hazard remover, 1 part hazard setter, 1 part tank. Like it can do a lot of different things, and just like based on the week you can do stuff.
I want to know what the sleeping set is because I can't figure it. I can't figure out how to make it actually hit
booster energy.
Yeah,
it just boosts speed.
What?
It just boosts speed for the most part.
No. You run adamant with rapid spin and enough attack to outdo your speed.
I guess that's fair. You can do that.
I've seen
I
that
don't know.
do pretty well.
I really want a Great Tusk. I really want a Great Tusk for that.
Great
but-
Tusk is definitely better than Iron Treads. But
Yeah. This Walmart Tusk.
As someone with awful speed tiers, I see Kilowattrel as basically Tapu Koko. That like that is the true thing. I'm like, well, I have great test for Iron Hands, but the Kilowattrel, I'm like, because I know have you been week 3, and I'm like, you fellas are at the level where I'm like, I need to think multi-dimensional ad drop chess here.
If that was actually Tapu Koko, then I think I would deserve number 2 slot because I have so many Quark Drive mons that Tapu Koko will maybe break my team.
Fair enough. Fair enough.
I have plenty of things that get the move electric terrain. I don't see why.
Yeah, where's the pink urchin dog? Yeah, no, this team is.
We'll see it at some point.
Dude, this team is scary whether you're prepared for it or not. Seriously.
Yeah.
No, yeah, I mean, I got to use Iron Hands in the first draft league I did this season, and my God, is that thing fun to use? I loved using that thing. It never dies to any hit.
Yeah,
and
it never dies in one hit to like anything, right?
so good. Yeah. But yeah.
I can see Ben, you putting together a different sweeping set every single week. I don't see you winning a game through any way other than a sweep, like Blaziken in season 3. So I could see like Moxie, Quackleval winning 1 week, Sorcian Caesar winning 1 week, Phil Watson winning one. Like there's gonna be a different winner every week, which makes this really scary.
Agree.
Thing was so busted.
I can't believe that we overlooked that. That one's on us, honestly. That one's on us.
It made my easing into like my first real season like way easier because it's kind of just like, all right, build around Blaziken. I actually like playing with Blastoise more. I think Blastoise is my favorite all-time Pokemon to play with.
The defense curl set was all time. I think that's the best set I've ever seen.
Legendary.
We all remember where we were when we saw the Ben defense curl set.
Who were you playing when you unleashed that?
That was Mike.
It's my
Okay.
poor Mike.
Because he had Milotic, which is like a hard wall to Blastoise.
This can beat it. Yeah. All right. So that puts me at number 1 this week. I think we already talked about my match some, but I think Ting Lu is very good and Gallade is also very good, is my conclusions that I drew from my match.
Yeah. No, I think they're both very good as well. I think Gallade is going to be extremely scary this season. Basically, all its moves being above 100 base power with like no drawbacks is just absolutely nuts.
Kind of good.
And I think the Dragalge is going to be huge. Terra Water, like most people, I feel like have offensive Terra captains, and the defensive ones I feel like could be even better. It's something I might look into as well, and for potentially swap out Noivern at some point for something more defensive.
Yeah. The most surprising thing about this match was your +1 Revergroom only doing like 22% damage to +2 Garganacl on defense. And then your Gallade at no plus at all Oko's a +2 defense Garganacl. I was like, what the fuck? Like that actually made no
Sacred
sense.
Sword, but yeah,
Oh, does Sacred Sword cut through defense?
it ignores defense
That
boost.
changes.
Oh, that's
And also with
interesting.
sharpness, it's 135 base power.
Yeah, it's stronger than close
Yeah.
comp.
Okay, so that makes a lot more sense because like when I saw that happen, I'm like, there's nothing that could possibly switch into this move ever. Like it was like unbelievable. But yeah, so I think your team's nice. I think it also has a fighting weakness, like everything else this year does. But it's like a really scary team. You know how to play with it. Like when you pair like the best team with like one of the best battlers, I think we're all gonna have a really tough time this season playing against you. So we'll have to do creative things for sure.
Dude, I didn't even realize that Ting Lu had 155 HP. That is nuts.
Oh yeah.
Holy shit.
Dude,
Look up its
fucking
look up its
Dondozo.
defense next too.
Yeah, I knew it
If you
had a high
really- if you
defense,
really
but, like,
want
that
a
thing's
nice
like
surprise.
Dondozo, but like can actually hurt people
it
and set up rocks.
yeah, it also takes a quarter of everyone's special attack. So its special attack is special
Oh
defense
yeah. Oh yeah.
Is 120.
Like,
Yeah,
higher
lovely.
than its defense, I think, like base if you count that in.
Yeah.
It's so funny.
I
Oh,
think Cyclozar is your best mon. I really wanted Cyclozar. I feel like Shedtail in draft, like on an actually non-Earthworm, I think is so good. Like I really
Cyclozar's
was
nice.
like
Cyclozar, honestly, I mainly wanted for spin and knockoff.
I don't know. I
That's a
think
good
I mean, Shedtail's really good. I would not have drafted it for the points it was if it wasn't for Shedtail, but like getting spin and knock is really big too.
I just feel like Gallade is gonna be that guy. He's gonna be the relatively low point mon that just delivers the sweeps and the KOs and the how you doings.
Yeah,
Um,
I think anytime I get Gallade behind a Shedtail, at least one thing will die. So
Yeah.
yeah.
You got a scary team, man. I'm prepping for it. And I am prepping for ad drops that where it's gonna be a whole other showdown. It'll be fun, man. I'm excited for Sunday.
And Sunday at 7 does work for me. I'll go ahead and let
Oh,
you know.
sweet, perfect. Yeah, that'll be fun. I'll do that, and then I'll watch the last episode of The Last of Us.
Oh, that's gonna be so sick. I'm
on
so
Sunday.
excited.
Yeah, should be stoked. Yeah, I'm
So
super stoked
excited.
as well.
Alright.
So cool. Yeah, you got a good team, Bert. Not surprising.
I'm excited. It's been fun to prep with, so I'm enjoying it so far. But this is what the Scarlet Division PRs look for week 1. So best of luck to everybody. I can't remember who's playing the cross divisional matchups this week, but please kick Violet's ass. Need to keep that undefeated record, and yeah, we'll hopefully be back again next week.
Amen.
Sure.
All right. Good week. Fuck Violet.
Violet.
Yeah. All right. See you guys.
You guys.
Peace.